People don't envy Gemini because of fame or flawless luck. They envy the way a Gemini walks through life with a lantern in each hand, one for curiosity, one for courage, lighting two roads at once and refusing to choose only one horizon. When the mind is this awake, everything glows. When the heart is this quick, everything moves. You can feel it the second a Gemini enters a room. A breeze lifts, a question is asked, and the world becomes wider. The jealousy begins there, at the doorway where most people hesitate and Gemini simply steps through. Truth 1. The twin flame of curiosity. You carry a double helix hunger for life. Not gossip curiosity, not empty scrolling, but the sacred curiosity of a pilgrim who believes meaning is hidden in plain sight. Others envy how fast you learn, how easily you connect dots they didn't even see on the page. They mistake your restlessness for fickleness, but it's really devotion to the living universe that keeps unfolding like a book that can't be finished. Truth 2. The sacred language switch. You translate feelings into words and words into medicine. You can take a shattered story, turn it in your hands, and find the sentence that makes it whole again. People envy that power because most of us drown in what we cannot say. You swim where others sink. You don't run from silence. You negotiate with it, turning quiet into insight and insight into gentle direction. Truth 3. The alchemy of lightness. You know how to hold heavy things with a light touch. Where some grip their pain until it cuts them deeper, you add breath, humor, perspective. Your healing is aerodynamic. Those who envy you see the laughter, not the midnight practice behind it. The way you learn to turn fear into air, panic into pacing, sorrow into sentences. If this voice finds you early in the video, and you feel seen by these truths, take a deep breath and honor your path by subscribing to Astro Gemini so this tribe finds you again when the winds change. Let this be your steady lighthouse in a fast-moving sea. Truth 4. Twin doors, one soul. You move between worlds, ideas and instincts, logic and lyric. People envy that you can speak to scholars in the morning and to your inner child by noon. They confuse your versatility with masks, but you know it's a wardrobe of selves that are all honest. You change tone, not truth. You alter approach, not essence. Truth 5. Velocity without violence. You shift quickly without crashing. The trick is not speed for speed's sake, but the elegance of your pivot. While others cling to one plan until it stales, you notice the new window opening at the corner of your eye, and you slip through with grace. They envy your timing because it seems like luck. It's really your dialogue with intuition, the one that whispers now, right before the door swings shut. Truth 6. The listener's magnetism. The jealous can't figure out why strangers tell you secrets. It's because you listen without grabbing. You hold a story like a bird, open palms, steady breath, no demand to perform. In your presence, people remember who they are beneath the armor. You show them their reflection without glass, and they call it magic. Truth 7. Reinvention as ritual. You shed skins before they suffocate you. Where others worship an old version of themselves, you bow to the living altar of becoming. You reinvent not to escape, but to stay faithful to the truth that keeps growing inside you. Jealousy blooms when people see you walk out of a life they still feel trapped in. Smiling like someone who found the hidden exit, there is also the pain no one sees, the weight of being misunderstood, the ache of being called inconsistent when you're simply evolving. If this resonates, tell me in the quiet space of the comments. Your date of birth and your zodiac sign, like a little star map you place on our table, so I can read the sky that shaped you, and we can build this circle of light together. Some days, your mind is a meteor shower, so many brilliant streaks that you struggle to choose which wish to make first. The envy others feel hides a quieter truth, how hard you work to direct that cosmos. You built constellations out of scattered sparks. You designed pathways for the lightning so your life wouldn't burn down every time inspiration struck. Truth 8. The social sampler. Soul deep. You can move through a crowd like a river, touching many shores, carrying stories, exchanging colors. But you also know how to find the one person whose eyes are a hallway to somewhere honest. People envy both your range and your radar. They see you loved by many and imagine you shallow. Then they hear the question you ask that breaks someone open gently and realize depth is your native water. Truth 9. Minds that mend. You repair what language has damaged. You know the precise word that calms a spiraling friend, the question that turns a fight into a conversation, the metaphor that makes forgiveness possible. Others envy this natural talent, not realizing you earned it by spending nights negotiating with your own shadows, drafting treaties between your frightened self and your faithful self until the war got quieter. Truth 10. Sacred wit. Your humor is holy because it rescues people from ledges. It's not mockery, it's a ladder disguised as laughter. Jealous eyes dismiss it as charm. Wise hearts recognize it as CPR for the spirit. You can turn a suffocating room breathable with a single line. You're not running from pain, you're escorting it toward light. Truth 11. The compass of contradiction. You believe two truths can exist at once. You can miss someone and know it's right to let them go. You can be terrified and still decide to try. This both and compass makes you brave in complex weather. Others envy your capacity to hold paradox without collapsing into cynicism. They want your balance but not your practice. The journaling, the therapy, the long walks where you let the wind edit your thoughts. Truth 12. Messenger of crossroads. You are often the first to say, "There's another way." You send people into rooms they didn't know existed in their own homes. Jealousy appears when they watch someone choose your door and find relief. But the truth is that you don't own the door. You simply refuse to pretend it isn't there. Truth 13. Attention like a blessing. When you notice someone, you do it with your whole being. You remember the detail that proves you were truly present, the chipped blue mug, the sentence they almost swallowed, the silence after the laugh. People envy that your attention makes others bloom. What they don't see is how lonely it can feel when very few offer you that same sacred noticing back. Midway through this journey, if you feel the wind of your own potential rising, tap the like button as a pact with yourself. Think of it as lighting a candle on your altar of growth, simple, small, and fiercely symbolic. Your energy feeds the message, and the message returns that energy multiplied, finding the Geminis who need it most. Truth 14. The long memory for miracles. You keep receipts of hope. When life breaks your heart, you return to your catalog of wonders, the time you lost everything and somehow gained yourself. The moment a stranger's kindness interrupted a night that could have gone wrong. The day an idea arrived like rain after drought. You remember enough miracles to keep searching for the next one. Others envy your optimism because they mistake it for denial. It's actually data gathered from 1,000 survivals. Truth 15. The unfinished poem. You carry the rare faith that you are not done. That belief is magnetic. It terrifies those who have declared themselves finished because your growth calls theirs into question. So they call you too much, too fast, too changeable. But you keep writing your poem in the margins of ordinary days, and the lines keep turning into paths. Let's tell the truth beneath the truths. Being Gemini means knowing how to perform CPR on your own spirit after a betrayal. It means leaving a conversation that keeps wounding you, choosing the quiet humiliation of leaving over the noisy humiliation of staying. It means outgrowing a version of home that no longer loves you properly and inventing a portable home inside your thoughts, a sanctuary made of language, rhythm, and rituals that calm your nervous system. The jealous rarely understand the courage of your exits. They see doors closing and assume you were running. They don't see you were walking toward air. It also means living with the anxiety of choice. When you can imagine 20 futures, you grieve 19 every time you choose one. You hold funerals in your heart for the paths you won't take, then you gather yourself and walk forward anyway. That is not indecision. That is reverence for the sacred weight of picking a life. Others envy your options and forget the cost of having them. Your nervous system learns to hear the difference between fear and intuition. Fear screams. Intuition leans in and whispers the same sentence 3 times. So you practice stillness until the whisper grows clear. You call it your inner twin, the older one, the wiser one, the one who remembers what you promised yourself the last time you were on your knees. You ask them questions, you obey, you become trustworthy to yourself, and that is the most enviable miracle of all. When love approaches, you offer conversation as a bridge, not a test. You seduce with wonder. You don't demand that someone shares all your interests. You invite them to teach you theirs, to become a new country in your geography. People envy the way lovers become braver in your presence. They don't understand that you crafted that safety with fierce sincerity, with boundaries that are honest instead of loud, with apologies that arrive without being hunted down. There's a tender ache that follows you, the memory of times your bright mind was treated like a circus instead of a cathedral. The jokes that didn't see your tears, the rooms that praised your adaptability while exploiting it. You learn to stop auditioning for places that were never going to pay you with respect. You teach others to do the same by leaving quietly, consistently with dignity. In the voiceover of this life, here is the pivot. Like this video, if you need a reminder that your lightness is not a flaw, it is a technology your soul invented to survive heavy weather. Your gesture becomes a signal fire, and the algorithm, strange as it is, turns into a flock of birds carrying this message to those who are freezing in the same wind. Now, some personal medicine for the journey ahead. Practice sacred interruption. Pause mid-spiral and ask, which story am I feeding? Practice devotional curiosity. Meet each day as if it contains a distilled teacher. Practice boundary silence. Let your no be quiet and consistent instead of dramatic and chaotic. Practice friendship with your contradictions. Let them sit at the same table and pass each other the salt. You don't have to choose which part of you is allowed to exist today. Your wholeness is the project, not your perfection. If your spirit wants to feel more anchored to this constellation, consider subscribing to Astro Gemini right now. Think of it as placing a stone on the cairn that marks your path. So when the fog returns, you can find your way by the stack of promises you made to yourself. Before we move to the final passages, come closer to the campfire we are building together. Whisper your birthday into the comments the way sailors once whispered to stars. Tell me your sign, not to be sorted or judged, but to be witnessed. I will read those dates like coordinates, bless them silently, and imagine you standing where you stand, listening to this, reclaiming yourself inch by inch. The envy will never fully disappear, because light always reveals what shadows forgot to become. But you can learn to let envy pass through you like a cold front, weather not verdict. You can let it teach you compassion for the parts of others that long to breathe. You can let it become a practice of gentleness, even toward those who misname you. On the days when your own doubts get loud, return to your truths. You are the twin flame of curiosity, and the world needs people who still want to learn after heartbreak. You are the sacred language switch, and the world needs translators between feeling and form. You are the alchemist of lightness, and the world needs those who can carry sorrow without letting it rot. You are the soul who moves through twin doors with one integrity. You are velocity without violence, redirecting without breaking. You are the listener who makes others bloom, and the reinventor who refuses to grow stale in rooms that stopped loving truth. You are the social sampler who knows how to go deep when it matters, the mender of minds, the holy wit that saves us from ledges. You are the compass that holds paradox without panic, the messenger who points toward the unlabeled door, the attention that blesses, the librarian of miracles, the unfinished poem that keeps finding better language to say the same holy thing, I am becoming. When you look back, you'll see that you didn't outrun your pain. You outlived it by making meaning. You didn't fake your way into rooms. You learned the keys, loved the people, and opened the windows. You didn't get lucky. You built a sail that could catch even shy winds. And when none of it worked, you sat down with your oldest twin, the one inside you, and you breathed until the next sentence arrived. If this river of words met you where you are, press like again as a vow that you'll keep choosing growth over approval, truth over performing, and wonder over certainty. It's a small act with a long echo, a ripple that tells the invisible network to carry this medicine further than we can travel alone. As we close, tie one final ribbon on this ceremony. Subscribe to Astro Gemini so these teachings circle back to you exactly when you need them. Leave your date of birth and zodiac sign in the comments so we can map our constellations across this digital night and prove that distance is smaller than devotion. And when the next storm of envy gathers around your light, remember, you are weather too. You are a front that brings new air. You are the sky learning its own language again. Until we speak again, keep writing your unfinished poem. Keep trusting your whisper over the world's shout. Keep stepping through the doors that appear when you refuse to pretend they aren't there. Like this, if you felt held here, subscribe so the path keeps lighting up. And carry this with you. Everything they envy is something you built with love.